Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We haven't done one of these in a while.
No.
I'm Brian Gatto, and my mother, we both went to go see Dune, the 2021 version, which is an adaptation of the 1965, I believe, novel Dune.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, it came out a long time ago. But I actually finished reading this book yesterday. It took me 18 days, and it was a long and arduous, what's that word? Arduous journey. So, the new Dune is a new adaptation of the film because there was one in 1984, as well as a mini-series in 2000, as well as a sequel to that mini-series in, I believe, 2003. So what do you think of Dune?
Interesting.
What did you find interesting about it?
I was expecting like a lot more.
What do you mean?
I don't really know. I was thinking that myself.
What do you mean?
It was interesting. I just thought, like Star Wars has a lot of like figures and stuff.
What do you mean figures?
Like, robots and.
Well, that's not what this is.
I know.
This is actually before Star Wars.
I know. So it was interesting, but I think I was expecting
more futuristic.
Yeah, but then again, I'm glad it kind of wasn't. I was kind of torn. I could see why when it came out in 1984, maybe it didn't get the greatest reviews because people just had Star Wars, and I didn't really know what Dune was 100% about. I thought it was interesting. I think, I honestly think that maybe the second one will be better.
It follows the rest of the first book because this was only the first half of the book. I think about the first 400 or 500 pages, and the book is about 800 pages. So I'm sure they'll make the next one fill in as much as they can with that one, because they said this in the intro, Dune Part 1. So I'm really hoping that they're confirming the sequel like they already have, but I hope they don't pull back and be like, we can't do it because it didn't make enough money. Go see Dune because I think it was a great adaptation.
Yeah, it was very good. Honestly, I wasn't bored.
No,
but I was just like, every once in a while, I was like, is there supposed to be more that I don't understand?
There's a lot to the world building in this story, but I think the movie covered a lot of the bases and left out any stuff that wasn't quite needed. There is one thing I'm a little bit worried that they won't bring up in the sequel, and it is kind of unimportant in the novel. In the end, it's they blame Jessica for the Duke's death. And some of the Duke's followers, spoilers if you haven't read the book, I'll put that in the back.
Okay.
They blame her for the death, and there's a few of them, Gurney, he's still alive, and Toofer, the guy who has eyes rolled back when he calculated. Yeah, he's. They both think that Jessica was responsible for killing the Duke, and they didn't mention that at all in this movie. But at the same time, one of the characters, another spoiler here, kills themselves because of their betrayal to the Duke and Lady Jessica because they thought wrong, and that's at the end of the book. So, so if one of them dies a different way, it's gonna be kind of weird.
It was good. I don't know what I was looking. I needed more of something, and I don't really know what. But it was good, and I wasn't bored. I was trying to think of that myself. What would I say? It needed more of something, but I don't really. Do you think that way too? I didn't really.
There's only one scene. There's a couple scenes that I wish were more. Like Toofer talks to Lady Jessica before the betrayal, and he kind of gets vibes like he's like, I don't trust her. But then Toofer's only in literally 2 scenes. Maybe 3, but I knew it played out a lot like the book. There were some things that didn't really need to be in there, and that were in the book. There were things in the book that didn't need to be adapted into the film, like the betrayal aspect. Except for I don't know how they're going to handle Toofer now, or Thoofer. I don't know how you say that. It's Toofer, right?
I don't know.
They're really weird names besides Paul and Jessica and Leto.
It needed a little bit more emotion from some of the people.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thing about the book is that emotion is kind of a hindrance to the way your capabilities are able to be executed. If you have your emotions in place, then they won't be executed correctly.
Well, I think the doctor should have shown a little more emotion. I think that's one that could.
Well, in the book, he knows his wife is dead, but in the movie, it's kind of like, oh, it's a shock. And then he says the Duke, not the Duke. He says the Baron can bring her back to life, and he kills her and says he joins him. Because Juana, his wife, he didn't get enough.
He should have had a little bit more emotion, though. Like, it didn't. It was like, okay, a little bit more of emotion about his wife, a little bit more. That not a ton, just a little.
Well, there's a scene where he talks to Paul about him in the book.
Maybe that's what was missing.
Where he talks to her.
I just
talks to him about her.
That was missing. The rest of them, they kind of can't have too much emotion.
Well, if they added the scenes that I think they should have, it would have been a 2-hour and 45-minute movie.
And they could have maybe cut back on it. I don't know, something else just to...
Well, they did cut back on a lot. Like the battles, like when they first invade Arrakis, they could have had an all-out war scene with Gurney and the others of the Atreides house fighting the people on the front of the building, but they kind of cut away from it. And there's a lot of things they had to cut corners on. I like that they didn't answer all the questions that would be saved for the sequel.
Yeah, I feel like it could have it. You definitely could see a sequel.
Yeah. The rest of the book is pretty good, too.
It wasn't terrible. It was just a little dry. I guess that's the word I would use. It was a little dry.
It takes place in the desert, Mom.
I know, literally. That's what I was going to say. Literally dry, like desert. Needed a little bit more of something. But it was good.
The way I was describing to myself while watching it for the first 30 minutes is like, this is the ultimate movie. Where it's a huge epic about them moving from one place to another. It's like, oh man, this is gonna be a wonderful place to see, and it's just all sand. And I know they were kind of bummed about going there, so more sand. But there's a couple things I wanted to explain to you, or at least one right now. The reason they put Jameis, the guy he was fighting at the end, in the bag is to drain his water.
Okay.
Because you were going when they were using their spit or their bodily fluids.
I get it. They have to survive, but it's still gross.
Yeah, but their water supply is very limited on Arrakis, so in the desert. The furmen, I'm sorry, have to survive out there like that. What do you think of the music?
It fit the movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
There's like 2 notes. I'll have to see if I can find them on the playlist on iTunes. So they kind of sounded like every other epic music. But Hans Zimmer, have you ever heard of the?
I have, yeah.
Have you ever heard of Hans Zimmer?
Mm-hmm.
He composed the music for this movie.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was very loud in some scenes, and it was not.
It was X+ too. That's surround sound, like.
Yeah, but it wasn't loud in the way where it was annoying. It was more so. It was loud in the way of immersing you into the scene.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the sandworms? Those were a big selling point of the story for
interesting
many years. Yeah, they were. There's always different interpretations of them, but I think this was pretty cool. They don't look like graboids or something.
No.
What did you think of your man crush? Well, it's not a man crush.
Not really. I mean, I just think he's good looking. That's all.
Yeah.
I thought he was the better actor out of most of them.
Yeah, I
was. You could almost see, like, you could tell the difference in skills.
Yeah, I felt bad because I knew that you like him as an actor, and I knew he dies in the book.
It's all right.
So I was like, one of the few movies Jason Momoa dies in.
Mm-hmm. Like, he's a good, and I think that really stuck out, and that made me want more of the other actors.
Yeah. Did you expect him to die?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. I figured he was probably one of the bigger star names in it, so I figured
he
he'd
was.
last longer, but.
Yeah, they'll have to get some bigger people for the next movie.
Yeah.
He's Aquaman, for Christ's sake.
Right.
What about the sound design and visuals?
It's pretty good, yeah. No, I like the sand and stuff like that. Like, I thought they did a good job. I thought they did a good job when they were driving the helicopter.
Yeah.
I thought all of that was good.
It looked, if it was CGI, it looked very practical. Like when they look at the close-ups with the ornithopters, like they look like dragonflies. But when they're close up, it looks like they're just actually driving a machine, and it doesn't look like a CG.
I thought those were cool.
Yeah.
And I thought the special effects weren't overdone and they weren't underdone. They were perfect for that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sand, so how much more can you know?
There's the machinery, and it seemed realistic. It wasn't like super high tech.
No.
Except for that one laser that was following Duncan, and I was like,
yeah.
I don't remember that in the book. It might have been in the book.
I thought the special effects were pretty good. They were good. They weren't over the top, like, and there was nothing like that was unbelievable. You'll be like, that would never happen.
That's why I think it works in this day and age, because Star Wars came out in a time that was very flashy with everything. Everything was flashy in the 80s and late 70s, like disco or synth or whatever kind of music always had that flashy stuff to go with it. And this we kind of have a subdued look at art now. I would say like a more dull appearance, like grays and yellows, and there is still the interest in the 80s, but overall modern art is kind of more faded in appearance. But I feel like it came out at the perfect time.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Please no, that makes me too bright. It hurts my eyes.
Are you Gizmo?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I did like it. I just, I didn't really 100% know what Dune was about. So
maybe I should have explained it to you more.
It was a little boring, but not bad. I don't know what like I said, I needed more of something, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah, and when you left to go pee, you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
But I felt like every scene was needed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really bored.
Overall, what would you give Dune? 2021 out of 5 or 10, whatever you want.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say 3.5 or 4.
I get it.
It's very, very faithful to the book, which spoilers in terms of
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess if I read the book, maybe as far as not knowing a lot about it, I think I was just expecting more, but it was very good.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I'm glad we went. I'm glad we had the X Plus reclining chairs.
Yeah.
That would have been a long one.
Like spoilers for my reading for the book, I give it right now a 4 out of 5. It's a masterpiece, but it also is a certain kind of book people have to get into. Like if
I can see that. It was a slow startup.
It's a very slow book for the most part, but I found it very engaging. Yeah, go see Dune. Support the film. Don't just watch it on HBO Max, because it is definitely a theatrical experience worth viewing. Do you think that?
I definitely think it was worth it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was like, I'm not going to watch this on HBO Max first. I'm going to go to the theater, because it's definitely a visual appeal. It's a visual.
It's visual appeal. No, I just think it's a good movie. I think for the special effects, people should go to the theater for it.
Yeah,
if you were to watch it on TV or something, you might be like,
Some of the critics made a good point, and they compared it to It, the Killer Clown movie. They're like, Chapter 1 works as a standalone. You don't necessarily need the sequel, but with Dune, you need the sequel. So if this doesn't get a sequel, if you don't get a sequel to Dune, then no one's going to want to buy the movie and watch it again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd watch it again.
If you didn't have a sequel.
No.
Yeah. Do you think Dad would like it?
He might. I think it needed a little bit more emotion.
Well, that's one of the other things I really want to touch on real quick, is that in the book, they don't, like I said, they try to push emotion aside to focus on what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And there's parts in the book where, like, Paul doesn't even mourn his father with tears. It's very dry.
That's too robotic for me.
Like, well, the book is very robotic. This had way more emotion than in the book.
I think some people need just a little bit more.
No, there was hints of humor. There wasn't like it wasn't like bland. Like the part where he's like, "Smile, Gurney." I am smiling. He's got a frown. Or Jason Momoa probably has the best quirks, I guess, or one-liners. All right. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and Lion Brian Gatto, horror show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon, where even $1 a month will help keep this channel going out strong, and I greatly appreciate it. Plus, you get access to body counts and other music videos that you can't get on YouTube because of copyright and data restriction. Monetary support. If you want to support the channel through PayPal, just send money to horrorshow37@gmail.com. The link's right down here on the bottom of the screen. And if you don't want to support me with any money, just hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video. And as always, subscribe.